Welcome to Melbear's Weird and Wonderful. In today's video, we will be making a pretty or not so pretty unicorn or unicorn vomit tumbler. I put in a new video every week, so please subscribe. Thanks for watching. Today we are going to make a unicorn vomit tumbler. And to start we need our tumbler. And for this project I went to Michael's and I bought a whole bunch of different sparkles and I'm going to mix them up. You could get your own blend, I'm sure, but this is what I'm going to use. I will lay them all out and I'm going to mix them up. And of course, a unicorn vomit tumbler would not be complete without some unicorns. I've got two different pinks, and that is going to be my sparkles for my unicorn vomit tumbler. I've also, I'm going to use some paint. I'm going to use glow, because I would assume unicorn vomit would glow, and some purple. You're also going to need for this project some clear glue, UV resin to plug up the hole, and a UV light to go with it. And I use these to plug up the hole, but you can also use tape or furniture bumpers, whatever you happen to have. Tape works just as well as these. I think it actually might be easier, but I have these, so I'm going to use them. So I've got these glow-in-the-dark stars. I'm going to put those in there as well. I like stuff that glows in the dark. If you haven't noticed from all my other videos, these are little unicorns. I thought these were so cute, and I'm like, what are you even going to do with these? And then I just thought a unicorn vomit tumbler would be great. Aren't these so adorable? And I'm putting in about that many. And then I'm going to mix up some of these sparkles. I've got this pretty pink. I may need more than 1 cup to put all my sparkles in, because I think this is going to be a 2-cup project. This is like a pretty iridescent again. This one's called Platinum. These are stars. I'm going to put these in a separate, in with the bigger sparkles, and I'll show you why. Those, and the rest we're going to do in pink. Okay, and that's going to be my glitter I'm putting in there. Next thing we're going to do is put a hole in your tumbler. If you watch my other video, I've shown how to do this before, but I'll show you again. You make sure you don't puncture the inner tumbler. Right, I'm using a 5/16 drill bit. You could use smaller than that. You can use larger than that. This is the one I just happen to have, and it works well. Okay, we've got our hole in our tumbler, and I think I'm just going to start with putting these unicorns in, and I'm not going to show every unicorn going in because this is going to take a few minutes. They are big and you kind of have to put them through the hole individually. And I'm still poking these little guys in there. I put these stars and the other little stars in here as well with the chunkier glitter, because I'm going to show you how I typically put the glitter into my tumblers. It just works better for me. I don't have patience poking glitter into a little hole. So I'm just going to keep poking these in here and be back. Okay, so we've got all our unicorns in there and our glow-in-the-dark stars. And we're going to start on the other glitter next. So I use these squirt bottles, or whatever you want to call them, to fill up my tumblers, but what I did is I cut the end off and I hollowed it out so it was way larger than what it came with, and all I did was actually put this tool in there, and I just kind of wiggled it around so the hole was way bigger. And then you can see the hole's way bigger than it was. Then what I do is I take my glitter and I put it into because I fill the tumbler with water and glue, and I just put a little bit of water in to begin with, and I pour my sparkles into the water. You can't use too chunky of a sparkle and do this or it will plug it up, but just like these are fairly chunky. They're not hugely chunky, but they're fairly chunky. But if they're big like those unicorns, you cannot do them like this. You still want to make sure you've got some flow left, otherwise this won't work. So those are going to have to go in some more water. Then we're going to start with these. I shake them up really good. And I take my tumbler, but then you just take your tumbler, you put your end in the hole, and then you just squeeze them out. And they go right into that tumbler. About quarter down, and then I'm going to fill that up with the glue mixture. Mix that up. You don't want it too thick. I did probably about, what is that, about a quarter cup of the glue. That's pretty thick. I'm going to put that in my squirt bottle again. Okay, same thing again. Put the end in. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Okay, so the glue's all in there, and honestly, it needs more liquid in there, but honestly, you could just leave it this way if that's what you want, but I want to make a unicorn vomit tumbler, not just a pretty unicorn tumbler. So what we're going to do is put on some glowy paint. So I've got DecoArt glow in the dark paint. We're going to put that in our squirt bottle. I'm going to put a big glop of that in there. And I'm going to put a little bit of purple in there. And I'm using just a cheap Craft Smart. It's a little purple. I don't want it too purple. I'm going to shake that up. Oops, we want our squirt bottle lid. Shake that up. Now we're going to add it to our tumbler. Just tip it to the side there while you're doing this. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Oh, that's empty. That another little shake there, see what she looks like. Pretty cool. I like that one. It needs more liquid in there, so we're just going to add some more liquid and then we'll be back. Okay, well, now we've got our tumbler all nice and filled and dry. I've already wiped the top of this with alcohol, but I'm just making sure it is dry, otherwise my glue dots will not stick. No. There we go. So we've got our little adhesive dot on there. Then I'm going to fill the bottom of this with our UV resin. Make sure you wear gloves with your resin. Make sure you also wear a mask with your resin and do it in a well-ventilated area. And I just fill up right here where the glue dot is. With this one, I think I'm going to fill the whole thing with resin. I'm going to put a unicorn in there. If I can pick him up. There we go. Going to put him right in the bottom of the cup, right in the resin. Now you're going to cure this under your UV light. There she is, all done and sealed. You can see the nice seal on the bottom. Now you could just leave it like this, or we're not going to leave it like this. I'm going to finish this off with some extra glue on the top. What I'm going to put in here is some peacock blue from Let's Resin. A little squirt of that, and because I want this to be a solid color, I'm going to put in some of the white. So we've got our white. And again, with resin, make sure you're wearing your gloves, mask, and well-ventilated area. I think that's the exact color I was looking for. May need a little more depending on what this resin turns it to. So we're going to put our UV resin into here. I'm using just a disposable cup that I got from Amazon, and I buy these by the 1,000. I'm going to fill this up to about, probably about 25 cc's. We'll see if that's enough. If not, we'll mix up some more. I think we might need some more dye with that, but let's mix her up and see what it looks like. Yeah, I'm definitely going to add some more in because it's a little too, I want it to be quite heavy looking, and it's just not there. That's better. So that's the color I'm aiming for. It's kind of a sea foamy green. Okay, and while I'm working with this, I'm going to put a paper towel down because I don't want to get resin all over everything. But what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to take my toothpick and I'm just going to start just kind of dripping this down the tumbler. If you make a mess, not a big deal. You could probably technically put this in a little squirter. That would probably be easier, but I am using all my squirters right now. Actually, what I think I'm going to try doing is maybe pouring this just along the edge. And this is a UV resin, so we're going to have to kind of cure this as we go. I want it to look really drippy. So I'm going to lift this up and then let it drip. And then I'm going to cure this right as it is. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, we're good. And then we're going to continue on. And I think pouring it is likely the way to go here. I'm going to go back, pour some more of this on here. So I want it to be a little thicker. Now we're going to cure this again. Just going to keep going along and keep doing the same thing. And keep curing it. Don't worry again if you make too big of a mess, it's not going to be a big deal. So we want it to look kind of goopy. Not too goopy. Okay, this is what I've got so far. I'm going to mix up another batch. I'm going to do it in, I think, pink. So same idea, except we're mixing pink. And I'm not going to use as much this time because I'm not putting as much of the pink on. And we're going to put some white in there. And then we need some pink. Okay, so we're going to use peach red, which I assume is pink. Won't put too much of that in case it's bright. And it is quite bright, so glad I didn't put more of that in there. Mix that well, and then we're going to do the same process of just dripping it on the cup. Make some kind of drips. You want these to be not quite as much as the other one, as the first layer. So we're just going to set that up there and then let it drip down. You want to try not to have the bubbles in there, although that could be a look too, I guess. Okay, that's what I'm going for. Then I'm going to cure that. And what I'm going to finish this off with is just going to put some clear UV resin on here around the edges. Let it drip on the whole cup, and I'm going to sprinkle some gold sparkles into that. And I'm just going to follow along the whole cup and cure that, and then I'll come back. Okay, and she's all done. And here we've got your unicorn vomit tumbler. One last shot of the tumbler all finished, and I did make this to look gross, so if you don't want yours to look gross, just don't put the topping on it, and then it's quite pretty. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I do put out a new video every week. Please subscribe. Thanks so much for watching.